Hi folks, how are we doing? Welcome to another video. Sorry it's raining, so the sound's going to be shit on this video, but today we're going to be making a big workbench. I say big for what I need anyway. So we're sorting the unit out, as you've probably seen from other videos, and this is going to be my fabricating space. So yeah, all of this space here is going to be my fab area. I'm going to have all the tools sort of laid out on the sides, as I've explained before, and I want a nice big workbench in the middle. So what I've got is I've got these old racking lengths. It's probably about 6 inches deep. These normally take about 2 ton. I'm going to use these for the sort of like the lengths. And then I've got a load of this rectangle box here that I'm going to use for the legs. So yeah, should be a nice strong sturdy bench. Now you can see roughly where I've marked it out on the floor. That's how big it's going to be. It's going to be 6 foot by 4 foot, so plenty big enough for what I need to do, you know, for panel making and stuff like that. And then there'll be enough room to walk around as well. So the first job I need to do is, because these are only pressed together, I'm going to clean all this up, and then I'm just going to put a couple of stitches in here. I'm not going to fully seam weld it because it doesn't need it. I'm just going to sort of go probably, you know, 20 mil, you know, maybe an inch, you know, all the way along. So yeah, I've got this one to do and that one to do. So let's crack on. One is done, and what an absolute wanker of a fucking job that was. So although I did clean it up, get all the zinc off, it's clearly sort of got zinc rot in that seam, and it was fucking spitting back, and oh, you can see like a fucking bit of splatter went up there. I mean, look at the state of my floor. That is all splatter. So I mean, you should see the fucking state of my welding torch. I had to clean this out so many times. Oh, look. The fucking state of that cunt. The state of my arm. Fuck's sake. So yeah, you can see this side I did it, as I said, you know, I just did an inch weld and then sort of a 2 inch gap. This side I've just done like little fucking like plug weld sort of deals, just because it was so much easier. It looks absolutely fucking horrendous, but you know, it's attached and that'll be solid. While I was doing this, I did set the bandsaw up as well. Yeah, it's the joy of a bandsaw. You can set it up and just walk away from it. So we've got all the legs cut down. I might put 6 legs on it rather than the 4, but we'll see how it looks when I've done it. I've just cut 4 for now. Yeah, that was just the last cut. So like I said, that one's done. I just need to do that one. What I want to do now is I'm just going to clean the welds up. I'm only going to do one side, the outside. You know, it doesn't matter what it looks like on the inside, but because it's sort of spatted. I'm sure there's a proper word for that, you know what I fucking mean. Yeah, there's just like little sharp bits, so I'm just going to run the flat wheel over it, take them down. Not going to go too mad. I just don't want any sort of edges that I'm likely to sort of catch myself on at some point and fucking bust a knuckle open or something. So yeah, get that done. Then I'm going to lop an end off. I'm just going to hack an end off with a grinder, and then I'm going to get it in the bandsaw, so then it'll be nice and square. So this one will be cut in while I'm cleaning and welding that fucker. Good fun. Well, that's the biggest bit of steel I've ever fucking had in that. It's doing alright. I do like this new blade though. Look at that. Look at the way it's cut in. Look. Straight through. Butter. So that one's chopped up into its proper sizes. A little bit there. And that one is fully fucking welded. Look at the state of my fucking arm from the splatter. So it's getting dark. I'm going to call it a day for now, but crack on tomorrow with it. Right, it's the other one in the bandsaw. I've cleaned up all of the underside. so it sits nice and flat on the deck. I've just squared the end off. Just going to mark it out and then get the 2 lengths cut out. Why this is set up with the bench in. I'm just going to clean the ends up, so ready for welding. On the shorter length, is this short length? On the longer lengths, I'm just going to clean the ends up. On the shorter lengths, I'll take a couple of welds off as well, so it'll all sort of butt in and fit nice. And then we can start welding. Right, all the ends are cleaned up. One thing I did notice afterwards is where they're where they're originally just pressed together, they're actually slightly different heights, so that's going to be fun. And also, I don't know whether that comes up on camera, there's a slight twist in them as well. So we're going to roll it together and we're going to have to clamp it and fuck about and do all sorts of shit, but we'll get there. It's what I've got, it's what I'm using. But from experience, I wouldn't recommend using these as a bench. It seemed like a good idea at the time, you know, big old bits of girders, you know, it's going to be nice and solid, but it'd have probably been easier to just go out and fucking buy some metal, you know, that was more suitable for the job. But hey ho, I'm committed and that's what we're doing. So I've gone through, I've degreased all the ends where I was using like cotton oil, so I've made sure everything's all cleaned up and it's now laid out on the floor. So it's going to be a nice size, and I've still got plenty of working space around, you know, nice little walkway here. Then the time, a lot of the tools are around the side, that should be okay. I've left this gap here, you know, so I've still got, I want to actually bring these cars over a little bit, you know, because it's a bit tight and I want to be able to work on them. Not only that, it'd be nice to have my tripod set up here, so while I'm working, you'll be able to see what I'm doing properly rather than constantly using the phone, just pissing me off. Anyway, fucking digressing. Now it's on the floor, you can just about see the twist. So that end is relatively flush on there, and then that end you can see is all twisted out. So I've got to try and work out a way of clamping that. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that yet. Annoyingly, having a bench like that would be perfect for making a bench like this, but alas, that's why I'm making a bench. So I'm going to sit down for a minute, have a cup of tea, and work out how I'm going to clamp that, because it's only me here today. Not that Michelle could do anything anyway, she's broke her elbow. But I'm going to ponder this for a second. Well, this is what I've come up with, and I think my genius has absolutely no bounds. So I've got a G-clamp there, G-clamp that side, and then just a ratchet strap between the two. This is one of my old ones, so I'm not too worried if there's any welding splatter on it. And then it was slightly out, so then I've just got that ratchet strap there, just bringing it in a little bit. It's not perfectly square, obviously the nature of a ratchet strap, you know, there's no finesse, so it was like one click was not enough, one more click was too much, so I've had to just go, right, that'll do, and then, you know, we'll just keep an eye on the squareness as we go around and get it done. So now I'm going to put a couple of tacks on here and then slowly go around and get them all done. So this is where we've got to. I had to walk away from this on Friday quite early because I had Ellie over the weekend. So we're back on it today, and I've made an executive decision that I'm going to slightly change plans. I did want to try and get this as square as possible to make it an actual sort of layout bench. But the problem is, hence why all this fucking weight's over in this corner, where this beam is really twisted, I did tack it, but then obviously that end was like way up in the air. When I tried to just pull it down, it just snapped the welds, and I just think the whole lot's just going to twist and fuck about. So I'm going to leave that gap and I'm just going to weld it as it is. As you can see there, there's a massive gap there that I'm going to have to try and weld. I've got the two straps trying to pull it in, and it's just not having none of it really. I mean, I went as far as, you know, making sure these were square, both these ones, and then putting a decent bead in there, you know, so it doesn't snap. What's that decent bead? It's still got a little bit of galvanising on it, all that zinc shit, so it's not brilliant. But yeah, so I walked away for the weekend, and I've come back and I was just like, fuck it, I'll just do this just so it's done, and then I'll redo it at a later date. Because I mean, I haven't got any metal for the top, you know, it's only going to be wood. So it's not going to be a proper layout table. I don't have the money for the metal on the top. You know, the metal on the top for a decent sort of 8mm thick piece is going to be the best part of £1,000. So I'll save up for that, and then I'll just redo this at a later date. But for now, I just want it done. So what I'm going to do at the minute is, because this is flexing and moving, I've decided I'm going to put some gussets in these corners. That way it keeps it relatively square. I'm not, like I said, I'm not too worried about it, but I do want it relatively straight because I've only got a certain amount of wood and I don't want to waste it. So yeah, I'll try and get it relatively square, and then we'll get the legs on, and then I'll put some gussets on the legs. So yeah, let's get the bandsaw out, and we're going to cut some more metal. Right, had a fairly productive morning. So all 4 corners are now welded, just across there. Still hasn't been welded underneath or down the actual main bit, so there should still be enough flex in it so I can square it up. I've cleaned all the legs up so they're ready for welding, and I've gone through and made all of this lot. So these are the gussets for the 4 corners, and then we've got a load of gussets for the legs to go each way as well. So what I want to do is, because I need to put the gussets on the other side, like, I want to get them at the bottom there, well, the top. It's going to be the top. So I'm going to put the legs on now, just tack them in, so there's, I can sort of tweak it and that. Just tack it in so I can spin it over, and then get it all squared up and gusseted, and then I can start working out where the shelf's going to go. So this is where we're at now. You can see why I wanted to put the legs on. You know, I just didn't want this fucking just falling back on me or whatever. So just tacking the legs on so it will just hold itself. I squared it all up. Just did the same thing with ratchet strap straight across. Actually didn't need too much because I'd done it on the floor. It wasn't too bad. So yeah, gussets are in. Everything's just tacked up for the minute. You can see sort of like where I cleaned up everything. So them gussets are in. I'm just in the process of sorting out the shelf bit. So this is a bit of old bed frame. It's not brilliant, it's pretty shit fucking metal to be fair, but it'd be perfect just to tie the legs in and then create a shelf at the bottom. Oh shit. I've already cut this one down. Bandsaw's quite noisy, so I didn't want to film while I'm doing it. I'm sort of impressed, considering I've done this on the floor and pretty much on my own. There is a 2mm difference between this side and this side. So this side is 1751 millimeters, that side's 1749. So I can't argue with that, really. I mean, obviously I'd like it absolutely fucking spot on, but at the end of the day, this is a workbench. So yeah, this one's already cut down on the bandsaw. I've gone through as well. Well, Michelle actually did it with her one hand. She's cut a load of these brackets, so then I can use me studding to make some feet as well. So I'm gonna crack on, get that bit cut. I've got no more of this, so I'm going to be excuse me. I'm going to be using some angle down this side, but I reckon that's going to be perfect for the bottom there. All I've got to do is work out where I want it. I don't want it too low because I would still like to be able to get like a sweeping brush underneath. I'm never going to get all the way underneath it, but it'd be nice to have a little bit of clearance to try and keep it tidy underneath. I don't want to constantly move this. This fucking thing weighs a ton as it is. So yeah, I reckon probably about there-ish. But yeah, whatever it'll be sorted. I might put, like, sort of where this run is, I might put an extra foot in. But like I said, this is bed frame. This was off of a double bed. So it's obviously designed for sort of 2 fat people. You know, they can't just sort of put it shit, and yeah, I think it'd be good enough for a shelf. And I don't know, I'm rambling on again. So right, I'm gonna crack on, get this done. This is where we're at now. Everything's all tacked up. It's actually come together fairly square. It wants a little tweak, but nothing major. It's mostly sort of like this corner, you know, where it's all twisted, but it's all rectifiable. So I just marked out where the gussets are going to go. I don't know if you can see the black mark. Just got to clean all the zinc off, all the galvanising. Then I'll go around, put a couple of ratchet straps in it, and we'll get some gussets going. I'll get multiple straps out, so I'll get it all square within itself, so then I ain't got to fuck about too much. I can just go around and get all the gussets in. Once all of these are in, we're ready to actually fully seam weld. So yeah, I'm just going to steam into it, I think. Get the gussets on. Once it's all all squared up and gusseted, then it's a matter of just seam welding it, I think. I might put a gusset in here on 2 of these corners. I don't know yet. We'll see how it looks. I've put a tape measure across it, and it's slightly out at the minute. Not much, but I'll double check it once I put the gussets on the bottom. It's going to be a fully gusseted bench, so it doesn't fucking move. So yeah, it's just making up as I go along and carrying on. I know I said gusset quite a lot in that last little sequence, and I was just sort of getting these all degreased, ready to weld. So now we have a moist gusset, just to trigger a few people. What a load of fun that was. You can see I've got all the ratchet straps on it, but every time, you know, this is why I used 4, because I knew it was going to do it. But every time you tweak one, the rest of it fucking moves. So I had to go around, and it took forever just to get everything fucking spot on. It's out a little bit, but it's good enough for what it fucking needs. I cleaned up all the zinc, all the galvanising off, and all the gussets are just sort of laid there for the minute. So yeah, I'm just going to get them tacked in and then actually fully seam weld this, and then we're pretty much done with it, other than the top. Maybe some centre bracing, I don't know, we'll see. See what it looks like, see how much the wood moves when we put that on. This is where we're at on the bench, and I'm fucking fuming. I've had a really good couple of hours steamed into it. All of the different thicknesses of metal took a while to sort of dial the welder in for the working out what was needed. So some welds are better than others, some are cleaner than others, but they've all got decent penetration. It's a workbench, I don't really care. But I've got like literally 11 welds left. I've got a couple on the top there, and then I've got flipping over, and there's a couple on the bottom. And I've just run out of fucking welding wire. Oh, excuse me. No. Yeah, so I just finished that weld, and then it just stopped. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there, and then just the same on the other side. That is all I've got to do for the welding. There's nowhere close to get fucking quick spool, so I'll just grab one on the way home. So I'm not going to get the bench finished tonight, which is really pissed me off, but it is what it is. I've got the wood in the back of the van. I'll flip this over, and then we'll have a look at making the top, and I'll just finish the welds tomorrow. This is what I'm going to be using for the top. It's 25mm inch thick MDF, so it's going to be absolutely fucking solid enough for it. There is a little bit of deflection in the middle, so I will have to put a centre brace in, so I'm not quite finished with the welding. But yeah, other than that, it's going to be pretty good. So it's chopping down. We got this, it was a bench before, and then managed to get a load of it. Annoyingly, this is a nice straight edge. You can see where that biscuit jointed it around, but it's not quite wide enough on this way to flip it around and have 2 nice straight edges to then redo it. So to get them in the car when we did it, we had to just rip it down. We didn't have a fence, so they're not straight, hence that gap there, you know. So now what I need to do is get 2 perfectly straight edges, and then I'm basically going to do the same again. I'm just going to biscuit joint it, so that will keep that solid. Yeah, I don't really know what to say. It's going to be a nice biscuit joint, and then I'll clean it all up. As you can see, that's the underside, and one that's the top. It's got this varnish or something on it, which I don't mind too much. I don't need it perfectly flat for the minute, you know. It's a workbench. So yeah, I'm going to crack on. I need to make myself a straight edge, and then clamp it all together, and then rip it down. It's actually been a couple of days since I sort of left this. I made this, which is me fucking circular saw fence, but I've actually moved some stuff around. So I've got the folder in now, as you can see we've cleared up, got this little bench in, there is a little walk around video. So yeah, I'll just stop for a minute and just move some shit while I had a hand. So what I need to do now is actually square this up. Yeah, mark a square and then rip a nice straight line down. Same on that one, and then we can get the router out and do some biscuit joining. Right, so tops are all sort of cut down. Considering that's just a little rip fence, you know, I'm quite happy with that. You know, this ain't fucking furniture, it doesn't have to be a completely seamless thing. So I've gone through, marked out where I want the biscuit joints. I'm just going to get the router set up and get that done. Yeah, I need to get my tripod sorted out. Once I've got some space, I'll get the tripod sorted out so you can actually see me working rather than just doing this fucking vlog style shit. Got all the biscuit holes done, you know, quite happy with that. There's plenty of room on them, so then if they're not quite lined up, you know, we can adjust it, but it should be pretty good. Yeah, so now I'm going to put these to the side, because what I'll do is I'll glue this up so it sit overnight, all clamped up. Now what I want to do is I need to put in the centre rib there. I also need to do, I was literally just speaking to Arco and sort of come up with an idea while I was speaking to him. I said about doing it later on, but I might as well just get it done now. I want to make a little rack thing here for my clamps. So in a minute I've got, you know, just hooking them over there. And then also I've decided what I'm going to do is, because it's quite a big old bench, and that's a small English wheel. Instead of making a stand for it so it sits in the corner, I'm actually going to mount it on the bench right here, you know, right in the corner, so then I've got plenty of working space and I should be able to get around, and that should be handy. Also need to make some brackets. I need to put a couple of brackets in so this can bolt down. I've already made them, I don't know where they've gone. I was originally going to use them for making feet, but this has actually stayed fairly level on this floor, so it doesn't need any extra sort of feet, so I'm happy with that. So yeah, move these out of the way, bit of grinding, bit of welding. Centre ribs all in, all these tabs are in, some of these are still up. I've literally only just finished welding. You know, I need to crank the weld up and just fucking buzz around it. Nothing special. It took me a minute to level them off, because where this is twisted, but you can just about, I don't know whether you can see, it's like, yeah, it's slightly lower, so you know, I put spirit level over everything so it clamps down nice and evenly. So yeah, what I need to do now is just go around fucking just buzz the grind the top of the welds off so it's all nice and flat. Quite happy with some of these rods. Nice beating. Sorry, dog racing. Yeah, just go through, clean all this up, drill all the holes, and then I can get them back on. Because them fucking things are heavy enough as it is. I don't want to be lifting it off again once I'm glued it together. So drill the holes and then put the thing on and get it glued. There it is, all glued up, nice and flush. As you can see, I've used my trusty ratchet straps, but I have got these fucking tight, look. This is why I didn't cut the ends off, so I could really fucking jam into it. Might give that one a bit more actually. Gave it a twat, I gave it a fucking hit. So that is now on. All I've got to do later on, well tomorrow, not tomorrow, maybe Sunday, is just centre it on the thing and then screw it and bolt it. So I'm going to leave that to dry and I'm going to go home and get some food because I'm hungry. Next day, it's all glued up, got it all unclamped. Now what I want to do is just get it sort of centralised as much as I can, and then I'm going to start screwing it in. Now all I've done the centre rib, I'm going to just use small screws screwing up, but around the edges I'm going to use 5mm countersunk nut and bolts. So I'm going to get that all drilled out and then get it all bolted down. That's all screwed down now. countersunk. I need to run the DA over this, just clean it up a little bit. That's all I used was some 5x50 screws. I'd have preferred probably an Allen head, but doesn't matter, it's done. What I'm going to do now is I'm just going to rip the ends off a little bit. Not too much, probably take it maybe ½ inch over, just so it's a bit cleaner. And we're going to get the bottom shelf done. Got the shelves all sorted out. I didn't worry about centering the join. There's no centre rib on this one, not like that where I needed to screw both together. Plus there's not going to be that much weight there, it's just a nice shelf out the way, same as I haven't actually screwed in. I've managed to get it nice and tight, and that's actually just sort of tapped in, and that ain't going to move. The other joy of not centering that is I've got a nice offcut here, which can be a shelf for something else later, maybe up here or something. I've chopped the ends off, although while I was notching the bottoms out there, I've already fucking nicked it with the jigsaw. So full on twat moment, but it's a workbench, it's what it's fucking designed for. I'm just going to quickly skirt over the top with the DA, just get rid of like a load of this shit because I just don't want it there. I'm not going to go too mad with it, it's literally just going to be quickly run it over, get rid of all the lumps and bumps, make sure it's nice and smooth. Just break the edges a little bit, and then we're going to get the English wheel mounted to it. Well, the sun's beaming through, and I don't know how much you can see. I've got a glare on my screen, but I've run over it with a DA, and it was mostly because there was like weird sort of lumps like this. And you've got to remember, I'm going to be running sort of sheet metal across this. This is never ever going to be a layout table. I don't want it sort of smooth, but what I didn't want to do is like put a sharp piece of steel across, catches one of these. Sorry, I ain't fucking framing. Catches one of these sort of like bumps, and then just tears the bench apart, digs in, bends the metal and all sorts of shit. While I was at it, I said I was going to break the edge, but I actually had the router out already. So I've just done a nice round over all the way around. And again, it's the same, like if I'm picking something up, that's not just going to tear a corner off and then round the corners off as well. Nothing too serious. So we're going to get on to mounting the English wheel. I said about putting it over there on that corner, but I'm sort of leaning towards this corner at the minute, and there's a genuine reason for it. I've still got plenty of room around here, to do what I need to do. I can get my weld all the way around, but on this corner, right, I'm going to be bringing like cars over a little bit, to work on, and I'm going to be sort of low down. So say like I'm doing that wheel arch, I'm going to be sat down. If I stand up and catch my back on that fucker, that's going to fucking hurt, or catch me noggin or whatever. Over this side, it's very, very unlikely I'm ever going to be low down, unless I'm sort of picking something out the shelf and then just sort of twat my noggin there. But it's not like I'm going to sort of come up and then sort of scrape my back. So I'm leaning towards this side. I'm really considering it because I don't want to just put holes in it and then end up moving it later. So I'm taking a minute and then sort of just working out what I've got to do. So, I've got that shrinker stretcher. I want to buy another one, so I've got a shrinker and a stretcher because I've constantly having to change the jaws on this one. It's pissing me off. The pillar drill ain't too bad there, although I could probably get it over here. Framing shit today. Get it here and then have like metal there, but then I've got the plug socket there, which is weird. I've got an upright bandsaw. Michelle's got an upright bandsaw that we want to bring down, which I'm thinking can go here and this can go over. So yeah, and then eventually I do want a bigger English wheel. I want a proper one. This is tiny. That's only like an inch wide. It's great for doing fucking small panels. I'll never get rid of it, but on the same token I do want a big one, so I'm trying to work out where things are going. So I'm going to chill out for 10 minutes, work this out, and then I'll come back with a decision. So I've made a decision. That is going there. I've measured it out, marked it out. All I've got to do is drill the holes, and then bolt it down. So I'm going to crack on and get that done. And there it is, all complete. So that's nicely solid on there, it's not moving. There's a bit of flex on the top, don't know whether that sort of comes out, but you always expect that on a cheap thing like that, and to be fair it's only a small wheel, so I'm happy about that. The bench ain't moving, that's solid as you like, that's solid as you like. This is going to do me fucking wonderful. So I did say earlier on in the video that I was thinking about putting some brackets for clamps, but I'm going to leave that for now. I'm going to use the bench for a couple of 3 weeks, just see where I want things. I mean, it's not a massive bench, it's not hard to walk around, but I want to get the feel for the old girl, and then, you know, work out where I want things, and then we'll come back and do an update of how things progress. I mean, like I said, it's going to be a panel beating bench, so you know that's why the English wheel's there. Beater bag's pretty much going to live here, so I'm going to want hammers around, so I'm thinking somewhere around here, but I don't know. So use it, see how it works when I actually start working on the cars. So that is it for this video. I'm pretty certain it's going to be a long video, so I apologise. I haven't really checked the footage, you know, other than what I kept doing, and it escalated, and I wanted it right so it's usable and I don't have to fuck about. So I apologise if it's a long video, and I hope you watched all the way to the end, because it gives me some watch hours, and I need some watch hours to monetize my channel. So yeah, like I said, I hope you like this video. If there's any other sort of projects you want to see me doing, there is a project that I've probably going to put up tonight, which will be before this. I don't know, I'm fucking digressing. There is projects always, like making tools, making things, because I have to, because whatever you can buy is never quite right, and I never have the money to actually buy what's available anyway, so I'll just make it. So anyway, please check out my friends in the description box below. Please drop a comment, please like, please subscribe. Please have a look at my Teespring store, purchase some merch, because it really will help out, and I'll see you for the next one. Bye.